Offset, one-third of Migos and a figure who once stood at the peak of hip-hop, is now receiving medical care in a hospital following an incident at a Florida casino, with reports indicating financial difficulties and claims that he contacted his estranged wife, Cardi B, for assistance. The situation reportedly unfolded on a Monday night. On April 6, 2026, Offset was involved in an incident near the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. He was transported to Memorial Regional Hospital, where his representative confirmed he was receiving medical attention and is currently stable under observation. As more information emerged, videos began appearing online allegedly showing a dispute involving Lil TJ and Offset inside the casino. Reports indicated the disagreement may have been connected to a $10,000 gambling debt that Offset allegedly declined to pay. However, that amount was said to represent only a fraction of a much larger problem, with claims that his total borrowed funds for gambling approached nearly $900,000. This situation did not develop overnight, as tensions between Offset and Lil TJ had reportedly been growing for months. Back in January 2025, Lil TJ spoke during a Twitch stream, accusing Offset of depending financially on Cardi B and dealing with gambling issues, even claiming he had witnessed him requesting money from others at a casino. He continued speaking publicly, repeatedly calling Offset financially struggling and insisting that the rapper owed him $10,000 from a previous gambling matter. He went to Instagram, went live on Twitch, and used every available platform to tell people that Offset had been borrowing money and failing to repay it. Then, on that Monday night in Hollywood, Florida, their paths crossed once more. The situation developed at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, where both artists were reportedly present before tensions escalated into a dispute. What began as verbal exchanges quickly turned into a physical encounter, and then a serious incident. After everything occurred, Lil TJ was detained outside the casino. According to the Hollywood Police Department, the Bronx rapper was charged with disorderly conduct and affray, a first-degree misdemeanor under Florida law. Notably, officials did not file any charges related to weapons against him. His legal team responded promptly. Attorney Dawn M. Florio released a statement refuting the claims, saying, "Lil TJ has not been harmed by gunfire, nor has he been charged in connection with any such incident. Any reports suggesting otherwise are completely false." Then came the moment that pushed the story even further into public attention. TMZ released exclusive footage showing Offset for the first time since the incident, seen in a hospital gown, which quickly circulated across the internet. Social media reacted immediately, and once Lil TJ was released, he added even more focus to the situation. He publicly criticized Offset after leaving custody, claiming on camera that Offset had identified him to authorities. He even described a moment in a dismissive tone, suggesting Offset pointed him out while saying he'd been hurt. So now, Offset was recovering in a hospital, seen on camera in a gown, while also being accused publicly by someone he allegedly had financial disagreements with. But this situation appeared to involve more than just one incident. The bigger question people started asking wasn't only about what happened that night, but how circumstances had reached a point where Offset was reportedly struggling enough to borrow money from Lil TJ in the first place. To understand how Offset arrived at this point, you need to look back at where the money originally came from. Offset, born Kiari Kendall Cephas, is widely recognized as a member of the Atlanta-based hip-hop trio Migos, alongside Quavo and The Late Takeoff. The group released 4 commercially successful studio albums, Young Rich Nation, Culture, Culture 2, and Culture 3, before officially disbanding in 2023. At their height, the earnings were substantial. From September 2017 to September 2018, Migos reportedly earned around $25 million, driven by an intense touring schedule that included 93 shows in just 12 months. From September 2018 to September 2019, their total earnings increased to approximately $36 million. These were not just rappers. They were a complete cultural phenomenon. The fashion, the jewelry, the cars, and the lifestyle all appeared unlimited from the outside. However, behind the scenes, the divisions within Migos ran deeper than most people understood. Around 2022, speculation about the group's breakup began circulating, with reports suggesting tension involving Offset and someone connected to Quavo's past relationship. The situation reportedly strained personal relationships within the group. It's important to note that Quavo is Takeoff's uncle and Offset is Quavo's cousin, making the split not just professional, but deeply personal. This wasn't only a group separating. It was a family dealing with serious internal conflict. Then came a devastating moment that changed everything. Takeoff lost his life outside a Houston bowling alley on November 1st, 2022, following a disagreement connected to a dice game that he wasn't even part of. He was only 28 years old and was described by local authorities as an innocent bystander. The painful irony is difficult to overlook. A disagreement tied to gambling led to Takeoff's passing, and years later, another gambling-related situation would place Offset in a serious and difficult condition. Even before the group officially separated, Offset was already involved in a serious legal dispute over his solo career. He filed a lawsuit against Quality Control Music, accusing the label of attempting to claim ownership over his individual work. Despite reports that he had already paid millions to secure the rights to his own music, although the case was eventually dismissed, the impact remained. Valuable time, energy, and significant money were spent during the process. His solo career, which once showed strong potential after Father of Four debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200, began to lose momentum. His third studio album reportedly underperformed commercially, doing little to improve his declining financial position as the Migos' success was no longer generating steady income. At the same time, Offset spending did not decrease. The lifestyle he built during the culture era, luxury homes, expensive jewelry, a large entourage, and high-end cars, continued to require a constant flow of money that was no longer coming in at the same rate. Meanwhile, his estranged wife Cardi B was achieving major success, breaking records and earning millions, while Offset's financial direction appeared to be moving the opposite way. His estimated net worth was said to be around $40 million, compared to Cardi B's reported $100 million. However, even that $40 million estimate began to raise questions as more financial issues came to light. As income slowed, financial pressure increased from another direction. The IRS pursued Offset over unpaid taxes, adding further strain to his situation. Reports indicated he was facing a tax debt of approximately $1.5 million. The Internal Revenue Service filed documents on December 26, 2025, placing a lien that claimed he owed $1,575,266.73 for the 2022 tax year. This issue had reportedly been ongoing since the lien was first filed on April 3, 2024. However, addressing one large tax bill did not mean the overall financial situation was fully resolved, and the pressure continued to mount. Offset was also reportedly facing another substantial tax lien from the IRS, this one involving an alleged $486,426.35 in unpaid taxes from 2023. The IRS wasn't the only government agency coming after him either. A separate lien filed by the Georgia Department of Revenue in March 2025 indicated he owed approximately $292,000 for 2021, with the original amount of $167,916 growing over time as interest, penalties, and collection fees piled up. When you add these outstanding liens together, just the ones that have been publicly reported, the total came to roughly $778,426, and that only covered what had been officially documented. Since tax liens are public records, his financial troubles were becoming increasingly visible, allowing people to watch the pressure mounting around him in real time. Beyond tax-related problems, Offset was also dealing with a legal judgment stemming from a past physical altercation. A Miami judge awarded 2 individuals a default judgment totaling $232,000 after they claimed that Offset had been involved in a fight. For months, he had been attempting to challenge or overturn that judgment, with a hearing scheduled for February 2026. This represented yet another financial burden, another legal battle, and additional strain on resources that were already stretched thin. When financial pressure comes from multiple directions, tax debts, legal disputes, a slowing music career, and a high-cost lifestyle that demands consistent income, the temptation to recover losses or make quick money can become overwhelming. For Offset, that pressure reportedly manifested in places like the Seminole Hard Rock Casino. At the same time, a growing body of research has indicated that the rapid expansion of sports betting and gambling can contribute to financial hardship for those involved, particularly when losses start to pile up. A recent report from a New York Federal Reserve indicated that sports betting is closely linked to deteriorating credit health. In more than 30 U.S. states where this activity is legal, the effects have been measurable, and the impact appears even more pronounced in places that permit online betting. One study showed a 10% increase in the likelihood of bankruptcy, along with an 8% rise in debt collection amounts. The saying that the house always wins continues to prove true, and Offset, reportedly struggled with close to $1 million in gambling-related debt, was no exception. Lil TJ even claimed he witnessed Offset inside a casino looking stressed, a detail that provides additional context to the situation. This brings us to the Cardi B side of the story, which may be one of the most revealing aspects of Offset's circumstances. Cardi B and Offset initially filed for divorce in September 2024, but their relationship had been complicated from the start. The couple secretly married in 2017, and their relationship endured multiple challenges over the years, including public reports of infidelity that prompted Cardi B to file for divorce in September 2020. However, they eventually reconciled. After confirming another breakup in December 2023, Cardi filed for divorce once more in July 2024, and this time it seemed more final. Offset, however, kept responding through legal means. In February 2025, Offset filed for joint custody and also requested spousal support from Cardi B. Then, on May 30th, Cardi B responded forcefully on social media after discovering the filing. She openly criticized Offset, accusing him of failing to contribute adequately toward their children's expenses. Cardi B even revealed specific numbers, stating that she spends approximately $10,000 per month on a driver to manage the kids' school and activities, while their daughter culture's school tuition alone costs roughly $45,000 per year. She emphasized that Offset, whose reported net worth is around $40 million, had not been contributing to these expenses and had left her to cover the costs for nearly a full year. She also accused Offset of being largely absent as a father, claiming he had only seen their youngest child a few times and had missed multiple scheduled visits. Then Cardi made a statement that offered more insight into what may have been happening behind the scenes. During a September 2025 live stream on X Spaces, she revealed that the main reason she was still legally married was because someone expected her to take care of their tax problems. She went on to explain that the only way she could truly move forward from the marriage would require paying off certain financial obligations and possibly giving up on her properties. She expressed this frustration plainly, saying she felt trapped in the situation unless she agreed to hand over a significant amount of money to finalize everything. The implication clearly pointed toward Offset. According to various reports, he was not only pursuing a standard separation, but had also filed for spousal support. It was alleged that he wanted a larger portion of their combined assets, even though Cardi B's overall net worth was significantly higher. Some reports suggested he was pushing for a 70-30 division in his favor, which would have been a substantial demand. In that type of arrangement, Cardi could have been required to pay tens of millions of dollars as part of the settlement. Offset reportedly justified this position by claiming he played a major role in helping build Cardi B's early career. The argument suggested that his support, industry connections, and public presence alongside her helped fuel her rise in the music industry. According to that viewpoint, his involvement during the early stages contributed to her success and visibility. However, whether that claim is fully accurate or holds up under examination remains